Last Wednesday, music venue First Avenue was scheduled to host a Dave Chappelle stand-up show in Minneapolis. When it was announced, the venue immediately faced backlash and protests, despite the show quickly selling out. Of course, the backlash comes from those who disagreed with Chappelle's jokes regarding transgenders and identity. Just hours before he was scheduled to perform, First Avenue canceled and the show was moved to another venue close by. Aries Spears was one who spoke out against the venue canceling due to the negative response they received. Over the weekend, Spears took to Instagram and said, "I feel like this is a very dangerous and irresponsible road we're going down. And I think it's sad, not just comics, but all people who are fans of comedy and free speech. But especially comics aren't banding together to stop this hypocritical bull. Why is it taking so long for people who are for the expression of art to come together and fight this fight?" Today we have our Comedy Hype analysts, Capone and Pierre, calling to the show to give their thoughts and reactions. Now, Pierre, I'm going to start with you because I see you're in a different location with our matching shirts on. So I'll start with you. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with Aries Spears?
Yes, first I'm on the set of this new movie, funny movies called Not Another Church Movie. It's all a spoof of Tyler Perry's movies and stuff. So I have a role in that. But I'm here on set, but I'm always going to come home, to Comedy Hype news. So I agree with Aries Spears. We are going down a rocky road, man. It's a shame. And again, how powerful the LGBTQ community is to take a show that's sold out already. So, I mean, they had planned to make it happen, the venue, and they cowered down and pulled back because, some people didn't like it. Some people didn't like what he said. I thought we're past it now, but people are still hanging on to it. So it's a shame, but, I heard another venue picked it up. So kudos to the other venue who picked up the show.
Absolutely. Capone, thank you so much for calling in today. I want to get your thoughts. What are you thinking? Do you agree with Aries Spears?
100%. I think that, we all, that Dave Chappelle is a target with him right now, and they're trying to make an example. And that's just a prime example of your money don't mean nothing to us. And that's what they pretty much signaled out to them. The venue knew what they was doing from day one. They didn't have to wait until he sold out to get all of this done. They did it on purpose, just to spite of him, being, or should I say, saying what he said that they didn't like. And they're going to keep trying it. But right. Aries Spears is right. We need to come together and put a stop to this.
Absolutely. Now, I want to take it back because I know we're responding to Aries Spears, but I want to get your thoughts. When you first heard of this come out, that they canceled the show, Chappelle's sold out show, Pierre, I'll come to you. What was your initial reaction when you first heard that news break?
I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked. I mean, I didn't realize, like Capone just said, that you're gonna hire somebody. That's somebody, well, not hire, but that's somebody use your venue, sell it out, and then cancel it. Like they knew who he was, but this wasn't booked 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It was booked after the special. So come on, man, they're just trying to make some noise. That's all. And shame on First Avenue. If Prince, that's what Prince really got to help blow up First Avenue, he would turn over his grave right now. From what I know, what they're doing to that to Dave Chappelle, he would turn over his grave.
Absolutely, and I just read a piece on Prince, that he had to endure some of the same things, because of some of the things that he had in his music. But Capone, I'll come to you for that as well. What are your thoughts? What was your first reaction when you heard that this venue decided to cancel Chappelle's show at the last minute?
My first reaction was, this is one of the reasons why we need to own our own venues. This is very important that we start to understand ownership. Regardless who owns whatever the situation as far as the LGBT people or whatever, if they can control something like this for a sold out show, then they definitely, we need to look a little bit further into owning our own stuff.
And I want to go straight into that, Capone, and I'll actually start with you because I think Pierre hit it as well. One of the things that's very surprising and that it was a sold out show. And then you had a couple people that protest, against it, which were people that, probably were, as I mentioned, against his special and things like that. But this is obviously a group of people that were wanting to see him. So I want to ask you, Capone, what do you think Dave and other comics as yourselves can do to help combat this? If venues are going to say, hey, we're going to cancel comedians and cancel shows and not give you a place to perform, what do you think you and other comics and Dave can do to help combat this?
This is where I say to Dave, This is where I say to Eddie Murphy. This is where I say to Kevin Hart. This is where I say to Chris Rock, come together, open up these venues so we can have a place where we don't have to worry about being canceled. Y'all got enough money. You have enough money to open up these type of venues. You know what it's like to be a struggling comedian. So, I think that if we can open up a couple of comedy clubs, we wouldn't have to worry about this too much.
Pierre, I bring that same question to you. When we're looking at this, this is a big deal. Venues are a big part of, a comedian's road. That this is where you go to go perform. So I want to get your thoughts. What do you think, Dave and other comics as yourselves can do to help combat this?
Well, one thing, I do agree with Capone about owning our own venues, but that's going to take a while. We talking about something that's going to happen we need right now. What they need to do is find out what venues are open that aren't going to trip on stuff like this. Like the one, like First Avenue trip, but Dave Chappelle took a show to another place that didn't trip and going to have people watch it there. So we need to get a list of venues around the United States that says, hey, we're open to all comedians, no matter what, gender, race, whatever you want to talk about, who you are. So we need to find those venues. And if those venues, the venues who do not do that don't want to support us like that, then say, well, we're not going to perform there. And if you book us and you cancel it, then we get to have a policy in there that's, we get to sue you, or you got to pay a fine for getting rid of us after you say, you were part of the coalition of clubs or venues that allow us to perform. So I mean us by everybody, every comedian. So find out what venues, get a list. What's that place called? Live Nation or whoever. Find out who lets us play wherever we want to, no matter what we say and who we are. Do just those. The ones who don't, let them sit them to the side and do it like that. If they book you and they change their mind, then a fine is going to be levied against you, $100,000 fine.
Now, before we close out, I do want to read just a few more things that Aries Spears said, and then also Dave did respond as well. So Aries Spears said, to think the idea that anyone or any group thinks that they're above the art of entertainment is beyond ludicrous. Why stop at Dave? Why not just ban music and movies too, or anything else that goes against someone's feelings? Now, speaking of feelings, Dave would respond and say that this did bother him. This was hurtful. It did hurt his feelings, according to sources. And, at his show that he did with Chris Rock and Kevin Hart, he went on to say, despite what you may have read about in the news, I'm okay and I appreciate the support. So, it's definitely unfortunate to see some of the things, but I'm glad he's able to, get some of that to support to feel that. So I appreciate you all for calling and chiming in on this topic. Before we head out, I do want to know what you guys have coming up. Pierre, I'll start with you. I know you said you're on a set. Congratulations, but what do you have coming up and how can people follow you?
As I said, I'm on a set right now, filming this movie. I think it's the 3rd, 4th, whatever, Friday, Saturday, August 3rd, 4th, 4th, 5th, whatever it is, in Chicago. I'm at Riddles in Chicago, so come holler at me there, y'all, if you're in the Chicago area. I got a lot of dates coming up. Again, thank y'all so much for supporting my stuff. But that's what we got right now. We're doing a movie. We're doing it big. We're doing what we do here, okay? Comedy hype. I'm letting everybody on the set know I represent comedy hype, okay?
And we appreciate the love and definitely feel it. Capone, what do you have coming up and how can people follow you?
I got Baltimore Comedy Club coming up. I have Orlando Theater coming up. A lot of things. Just follow me on Instagram, Comedian Capone, and you can see what I got going on.
And again, I appreciate y'all for calling and chiming in on this one. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Aries Spears reacting to Dave Chappelle's show being canceled? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
I'm so real. I took a cut. We put it in the comments on the set. Okay, on the set.
What's up, Comedy Hype family? Like the t-shirt from this episode? Be sure to head over to comedyhype.com/shop to get yours today. 'Cause I'm fresh.